What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon the Trading Card Game for the Game Boy Color. In the last episode, we finished off the Legendary Articuno deck. We actually finished all three of the Legendary Bird Trio decks now as we go up against Rod, I believe is his name, the fourth person who I believe has a Dragon deck. And I'm going to come clean real quick. This is the first time that I've been 100% caught up with the entire series. You guys are on the same page as me before recording. Every other episode I've been at least 1, 2, sometimes even 3 or 4 episodes recorded in advance. So I have read all of your comments, I have replied to all of them, I have heard your voices, and I want to say that I appreciate all of them. Thank you guys so much for your feedback. Thank you guys so much for the support in this little series. It's been a lot of fun for me. It's been a while since I played the game. That said, I'm sure the mechanics should come back to me really quickly. And I do know that we are going to want to prepare for this particular duel. Let's see what we can do. In our deck, I do want to take a look and see what we have. Okay, so we definitely has had a very electric-based deck. This is one that it's going to want to be pretty balanced. I don't really know what to expect from a Dragon deck. I would expect maybe like some Gyarados, maybe like a Charizard, maybe like Dragonite, Aerodactyl. I'm just thinking of Lance's Pokemon, really. So, I don't know exactly what we're going to want to go for. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to want to stick with my like, just generally good cards, like probably Scyther, probably throw Pinsir in there, and we can get some grass energies going. Am I going to want any of the fire Pokemon in here? That's the question. What about this Magmar? This Magmar is pretty good, but I guess before I look at any of the elementals, I should probably, first of all, clear away a lot of these electrics. I do like the electric type Pokemon in this game in particular, but I don't know if I'm super confident in just about anything. I want to see what I can do with the normal type Pokemon first, and then move on to some elements to potentially balance it out. Hitmonlee, I believe, is really good just in general. It does require some fighting, which is a little, less than ideal, but ooh, I don't know much about Dragonite. What does Dragon Air resist? Because if it resists fighting, then we might want to hold back on the fighting types. Where's Dratini and Dragon Air? So it resists Psychic. So I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to throw a Hitmonlee and a Hitmonchan in here. Just because, in general, they're pretty good Pokemon in my opinion. And let's take a look at our normal type deck real quick. What do we have in here so far? We've got Eradicate, we've got a Rattata. Both those Pokemon, in my opinion, are pretty good. I'll probably add a couple more of those. Do we want to throw a Meowth and Persian in there? I like this Meowth quite a bit, I would say. Do I want to go for another Persian? Persian has been proving to be really helpful, especially with Pounce. That chance to not get hit the next turn. It's really good in my opinion. Let's see what else we have available. We have Doduo and Dodrio. Admittedly not too big a fan. What about Chansey? Chansey was just really annoying to deal with. Now, Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan could put in work. Guaranteed card draws as long as I have 1 energy on it. It has a really high retreat cost. Comet Punch is pretty consistent. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to throw Kangaskhan there. We haven't used that in a while. Ditto, Eevee, Dratini. I know, Golden Witch, you mentioned that I haven't really been using Dratini yet. I think, if it shows up in the right opportunity, I'll still keep it around. It's just that typically up until this point, it's been better to just give energies to things that I know will be elementally effective. Keep Dragonair around because Hyper Beam can be really effective too. And that's, for the most part, what we have. Okay, so I think what I am going to do is throw another Meowth in here and throw another Persian. And let's take a look at our energy cards. We've got a ton of lightning energies. Definitely don't need all of that. So I can't add any more double colorless energy. I'll probably throw some grass energies in there, probably like 6 or so of them. And, oh, I'm going to need to add, I should probably add a little bit more of the other types. Because if I have like 10 fighting energies and like 10, or I could probably stick with like 6 or so grass energies. Given I'm only going to need probably 3 per Pinsir max. Also, as a real quick side note, because I'm in Japan, audio settings, or the audio acoustics and all that are going to be a little bit different than the normal. Just going to have to bear with it. I can't really do much about it. Sometimes trucks will go back, or, you know, drive behind my little, like, apartment room. Maybe there'll be birds in the background, maybe there'll be kids in the background. I don't know what's going to happen outside my window, so it's just going to have to be what it is. Alright, so what else do we want to add? I like the idea of adding some fighting Pokemon. What fighting Pokemon do I want to add, though, is the real question. I've really liked some of these Pokemon. I think I'll add another Hitmonlee. I know I've liked Rhyhorn quite a bit up until this point, because it doesn't require a lot of fighting energies in general, so maybe I'll throw... Yeah, you know what, I'll throw a couple of Rhyhorns and a Rhydon in there, and because if you have Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, I'll fill up the rest with fighting energies, and let's see how this goes. I feel like when it comes down to it, we'll be able to handle just about everything. Our normal type Pokemon don't have a lot of resistances, but they resist Psychic, which is typically good against our fighting types. Our fighting types will be able to hit, well, a lot of things. A lot of the electric types. Our grass types will be able to hit a lot of the water types. Our normal Pokemon will be able to hit just about everything. Fighting doesn't typically resist normal, or does it? Yeah, it typically resists electric, so I'm not too worried about it. And some of them are even weak to grass, so... Okay, I think I want to try this. I hope you guys... I know you guys have mentioned that some of you like seeing the deck building process. I hope it doesn't go on for too long, but... Okay, so we're going up against Rod. I hope this works out pretty well. This deck... I'm optimistic. I don't know what comes after this either, so... We have prepared for the duel. Then let's begin the final duel, a one-match duel for 6 prizes. Ooh, that's a really cool art, like, square. Legendary Dragonite deck. Okay, not too surprising. Ooh, let's see what we can do. I'm sure I am a little bit rusty. This is probably not the time of all times to be rusty. This is when the game expects you to be on point, at your absolute best, but we are a little bit rusty. I'm going to do my best to not overdo it right off the bat. So we have a couple grass energies, a fighting energy. Because we have grass energies right off the bat, I'm going to want to probably start off with Pinsir, so that we can more effectively use those grass energies and have a Tauros in the back that I can build up with potentially these fighting energies, whatever I end up drawing, while I try to boost up my Pinsir. Let's see, is RNG going to favor us? It is! Shockingly! I know, the RNG has just been incredible in this particular matchup. Oh, and I wonder, is Lapras... Is it weak to electric? I think it is weak to electric. Okay. And... we resist nothing. Okay. So I'm going to want to go for Iron Grip pretty quickly. I believe that that paralyzes, right? So we'll just attach a grass energy to our Pinsir, and that's all we can do for the time being. I think he can... If he gets a water energy, which he does... Oh, and he's got a Lapras. I should be keeping note of what, you know, types of Pokemon he actually has. Take 10 damage. This Lapras is such a snowball of a Pokemon, if you guys know what I mean. It can just start doing so much more damage, so much more quickly. So we can finally do this. We can go for Iron Grip. We have Paralysis working for us. Sometimes. Not all the time, obviously. But we're only doing 20 damage consistently, and we have a chance to paralyze him. We also could potentially go for Defender if necessary. Oh, he confuses us! And of course gets the confusion. Doesn't get paralyzed, and then confuses us. Gotta love it, gotta love it. So we take 10 damage. We have a chance to do 20 damage to ourselves next turn, which is obviously less than ideal. I'm gonna play Hitmonlee on the bench and boost that up. Yeah. I'm gonna boost up Hitmonlee in the back, get that ready to go. And I don't want to risk taking 20 damage this turn, so what I'm actually going to do is use Defender on my Pinsir so that I don't take a lot of damage this turn. And because he can go for Water Gun and do 20 damage, and my Defender will help out with that, even if he attaches another Water Energy to Lapras, which is scary. And as anticipated, he might actually be, what's it called, building up a Gyarados in the back. Oh, and we get Kangaskhan, which is really nice. I thought Confusion... I thought Confusion would go away at the end of the turn. I guess not. We'll throw Kangaskhan on the bench, we'll throw our Fighting Energy on Hitmonlee. So Hitmonlee is ready to attack for the most part. We'll go for Iron Grip. Honestly, oh, we break through, which is really nice. And we do not get the paralysis, yet again, sadly. But I'm surprised we broke through in the first place. That is definitely good. He switches and attaches a Water Energy to that Lapras. I'm very confused by that decision. Why did he bring the Lapras back? Interesting. We're still confused, which is, as you might anticipate, less than ideal, but to be honest, and we hit ourselves. We hit ourselves. Nice. So he's just boosting up a Lapras in the back, and this Magikarp is going to take out our Pinsir, which could have put in a lot of work if it just didn't get paralyzed once and maybe got a paralysis on, you know, an opposing Pokemon for once or something like that. But of course we don't. Well, for the time being, let's see. Hitmonlee requires 3 to be able to go for High Jump Kick, and I don't think there are any drawbacks to it, right? No. Okay. So what we can do is attach another Fighting Energy to our Hitmonlee, actually, and we can knock this out. Let me check. Let me check his Magikarp real quick. Flail. Do I want to go for the Stretch Kick, or do I want to knock this out? Because this thing doesn't threaten me much at all. Flail is going to do 0 damage as long as I don't hit this. So the question is, do I go for Stretch Kick and attack the Lapras on the bench? Oh, he's got 2 Laprases back there. Yikes. I think my play is to go for the Stretch Kick and attack that Lapras, because he could just bring out the Lapras next turn. Actually, he'll probably bring out his fresh Lapras next turn anyways. So I feel like I should just pick up the KO while I have, you know, a sitting duck in front of me. Because what is his play next turn? He probably retreats, which is very doable on his end. It only costs 1, and then he can go into his fresh Lapras, do damage, and he could Confuse Ray me, and then I'll need a Breakthrough Confusion to Stretch Kick and KO the Lapras on the bench next turn anyways. So yeah, I think the play is either way to go for High Jump Kick on this, because it'll take 3 turns to pick up 2 kills regardless of what I do, and this minimizes the need for confusion if he goes into the full health Lapras. That was probably a lot more complicated than it needed to be, but regardless, we'll take out this Magikarp, we'll get a prize card, which is really nice because we are low on cards in general too. We get Meowth, which is kind of cool, except our bench is pretty packed at the moment. That said, we do have a Persian in our hand, so that could be really helpful. Is he going to go for Confuse Ray? He is. This is what I was afraid of, and oh, he doesn't get the confusion, which is really nice. So we'll only be doing 10 damage. We'll be able to 2-hit KO this Lapras, which is really nice. We draw another Pinsir. I need some energies. That's what I'm looking for more than anything else. Oh, it's not. Bench isn't full yet. So do I go for 2 Stretch Kicks, or do I go for the High Jump Kick? I'm going to go for the High Jump Kick, because if we successfully go for 2 High Jump Kicks, then we only have to spend 3 turns to knock out this Lapras and the Lapras that would come out off the bench. Whereas if we, went for the Stretch Kick, then we'd have to go for 2 High Jump Kicks. And he does get the confusion. He does get the confusion, which is definitely less than ideal. Also, he's got a Charmander on the bench, so he's building up a Charizard. So I think he is kind of inspired by Lance with like the Gyarados and the Charizard and all. Let me check the retreat cost on this. It's only 1 energy. It's only 1 energy. I believe if you retreat, you alleviate your confusion. I believe that's the case. If I get confused here... and hit myself, I'm going to die next turn, and then I don't have anything to hit his Pokemon with. This Hitmonlee is definitely important, so I need to retreat, I believe, for the time being. And go into something else. Probably Kangaskhan. I don't have enough energy to attack with anything else, but if I give 1 energy to Kangaskhan, I can at least tank hits, and I can go for draw continually, and get cards faster. So I think that's going to be my play. Yeah, I'm going to retreat and go into Kangaskhan. Oh! I didn't even know that was a thing. Did not even know that was a thing. So I could play this Fighting Energy on Hitmonlee to guarantee that I can go for High Jump Kick, but I would rather play this on Kangaskhan for the time being and just go for Fetch so that I can get more cards and hopefully more energies. And we get a double colorless energy, which is actually going to be really helpful because, well, Kangaskhan, if we, darn it, we get confused again. We just continually get confused. I think he's like 3 for 4 with his confusions right now. But because of this double colorless energy, we actually have a good chance of being able to go for Comet Punch eventually with Kangaskhan. That said, for the time being, I'm going to evolve our Meowth into Persian. And do I want to give this double colorless energy to something? Probably not Kangaskhan because it's confused at the moment. I'd rather have a Tauros come out or like a Persian. I think I'm going to go with Persian actually because it can do the same amount of damage as Tauros, and if I get at least one more energy, I can go for Pounce, which will be a lot more effective than Rage will, fresh off the bench, because we won't have taken damage with Tauros yet. So I'm going to throw that on Persian for the time being, and then we can just go for Fetch. Oh, I didn't even know. We don't get confused, which is really nice, so we can draw a card. We get a Rhyhorn, which is not ideal. I'm looking for energies, but it's okay. I didn't realize that Fetch would count as like an attack that you could potentially get confused on. I guess that makes sense though, in retrospect. We have a full heal, which is really nice. That said, I don't know, what's the retreat cost on this? 3, okay. I don't know if I want to use that on Kangaskhan just yet. If we get hit, I'm gonna go for Fetch. If we hit ourselves, we still probably live the next hit anyways. Or yeah, we definitely do, because he can only do a max of 30 damage with Water Gun, even if he attaches another water energy to it. Now, this puts us in a situation where if we hit ourselves this turn, we will knock ourselves out, which is less than ideal. And it seems like Confusion doesn't heal until you, what's it called? Until you switch out, which is definitely not ideal. And I also haven't gotten very many energies. I wanted another fighting energy. I probably should have saved the fighting energy now that I think about it, because Hitmonlee specifically needs fighting energies. That said, I have 10 in my deck, and I've only run into 4. So I have 6 lingering in the rest of my deck. I think at the end of the day, I still... Do I go for full heal here? No, I save the full heal for Hitmonlee afterwards so that I can 2-hit KO the Lapras that's on the bench, or the Charmander potentially. So I'm just going to go for Fetch. Hopefully we break through. Yes, we do. Which is really nice, because if we knocked ourselves out here, we'd have to put out a fresh Pokemon to take a hit from Lapras. And I'd much rather have something else knock me out and then bring Hitmonlee in fresh to attack something, then maybe get hit and, you know, have to use my full heal for the Confuse rate, and then attack again, which is significantly more advantageous. And now we get Bill, which is actually going to be really helpful. Hopefully we get an energy from that. He attaches another water energy to the Lapras in the back, surprisingly, which means it'll be able to do 30 damage, I believe, with Water Gun. He knocks out Kangaskhan, not too big of a deal, because we were planning on it all along. I think I'm going to go into Hitmonlee here. Do I go into Hitmonlee or do I go into Persian? Actually, Persian might be the play, because it'll 2-hit KO the other Lapras on the bench, and it'll knock out this Lapras in one hit regardless. I think Persian's the play here. And because of Bill... Oh, we got another fighting energy, which is really nice. I want to see if we get another type of energy. Oh, we just get Pokemon. Just get Pokemon. Now that brings up... Do I give the fighting energy to Hitmonlee or to Persian? I think I go for Persian. Because we got the fighting energy, Hitmonlee would have been the better play. Aw, man. Either way, I still think we give the fighting energy to Persian so that we can knock out this Lapras, and we can go for Pounce, which is really important because we can potentially unconfuse ourselves with the full heal if he goes into the other... Oh, we get another fighting energy. Awesome. I was going to say, if he goes into Lapras and wants to confuse Ray us again, but he's got another Charmander on the bench. Ooh, and a Dratini, so yep, he's trying to build up to that Dragonite. Tackle is going to do 10 damage, which is not a big deal. We'll be able to knock out this Magikarp, which is really nice. And we start getting some more fighting energies. We can throw that on Hitmonlee. I can throw something else on the bench too. What do I want to throw on the bench? Is the real question though. Scyther? Probably Scyther. Scyther is always, pretty much always good. So I'm gonna go for Pounce here. We'll knock this out. This is looking good now. Now we're starting to get on a roll. Because I don't think he has enough time now to build up everything that he wants to. This Dratini could try to paralyze us. Maybe it's a different attack that has the paralysis. Maybe it's Dragonair that is able to. I'm going to throw Fighting Energy on Hitmonlee. And probably throw... Probably gonna want to get some hard hitters on the bench. Oh, there's no space on the bench. So we'll go for Pounce here. Means we have a chance to not even get hit the next turn, and we are definitely going to be 2-KOing this Dratini. If he switches out, it's going to be something that Hitmonlee can knock out with a stretch kick, so we've built up the momentum we need, guys. We've built up the momentum, and it's looking pretty clean for our hero. Down goes Dratini. We'll take another prize card. Oh, we get Rattata, which is nice. Out comes Charmander. Even if he evolves then into Charmeleon. Oh, he's got a Kangaskhan. Interesting. He's got another Charmander in the back, too. We'll 2-KO this with Pounce, and even if he evolves into Charmeleon, I think we might still have a chance at 2-KOing it. I'm going to use Potion on Persian for the time being. Might have been a little bit hasty, but I want to keep this thing healthy in case he evolves, or he gets like a fire, or he would need 2 or 3 fires, I believe, to go for Flamethrower as Charmeleon. But I don't want to potentially take Flamethrowers. It seems like he only has like water and double colorless energies, which is really surprising for someone who has stuff like Charmander. But throw Fighting Energy on Hitmonlee. So we have 2 Hitmonlees that are fully armed and ready to go with High Jump Kick. Just gonna be doing 50 damage, and it's gonna be knocking out Kangaskhan easily. And all we need is one more knockout. And in comes Lapras with 40 HP, so not too big of a deal. He's gonna go for Confuse Ray, but what's totally fine is that I can just go for Switch into my Hitmonlee and go for High Jump Kick, and that should be a clean KO. We also have our full heal, so I think what I'm gonna do here is switch, and we'll go into this Hitmonlee because it's already put in all of the work. And we'll go for High Jump Kick, and that should be good game. Man, that went surprisingly well. It all just came back to me. We got Dragonair. How fitting for the last prize card against the Legendary Dragonite deck. We took all the prizes. You won the duel with Rod. Oh, this music is great. I love this. What on earth? Even I, Rod, have been defeated? Wonderful, this is wonderful! Congratulations, Nick! You've proven yourself worthy enough to inherit the legendary Pokemon cards. Except... oh no, what's this except? Is it gonna be like in typical Pokemon fashion where I'm gonna have to go off with, shoot, what's his name? Ronald? Ronald is gonna be like, but Ronald was just here and beat all of us before you. We have a problem. There is another who has defeated us. You must duel him. Oh my god, that's so true. That's so Pokemon. Just gonna wait for the music. Yes! It is the silence as you wait for just the music. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Ronald. I have already inherited the legendary Pokemon cards. No, Ronald, that cannot be allowed. He, too, has earned the right to inherit the legendary Pokemon cards. Oh, so it's not just like he beat me to it, so he has them. It's you both are qualified to inherit them, so now you need to battle to see who's like the best at Imagine. Also, I think it was a poor design choice to have Ronald and Rod as 2 names. It's just like too similar to each other, I guess. Ronald, Nick, you 2 must duel to determine who will inherit the legendary Pokemon cards. So say the rules. The rules written by who? Alright, Rod. Is your deck ready, Nick? Hey, we have Rod. Ooh, I'm gonna prepare for the duel. Definitely gonna want to prepare for the duel. The question is, how are we gonna prepare for the duel? What kind of a deck is Rod gonna have? Not Rod, Ronald. He has a very balanced deck. I feel like we're gonna want to throw a little bit more variety in our typings, maybe a little bit more energy cards in our deck. I'm not 100% sure, but I will think about it between episodes because we are gonna battle Ronald in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that battle with Rod. I think it went really smoothly, and now it seems we have one last obstacle, being this Ronald, and the final wall between us and these legendary Pokemon cards. I'm pretty excited, I'm pretty pumped. I want to see if we're able to pull it off. And hopefully we are, but again, that'll be in the next episode. But until then, this is Midnight Zero, and this mission is complete.